There can be a number of reasons for head tilt faults in a CQ8570, 8870 printer or 8700, 8900 MFP. One of the more difficult to troubleshoot is a fault caused by the compound missing tooth head tilt gear. This video explains how the tilt gear works in the machine and provides tips in troubleshooting for a damaged head tilt gear. Shown here are two head tilt gears. On the left, a good functional head tilt gear. On the right, a damaged head tilt gear. The metal head tilt gear release latch, located on the outside of the left printer frame, engages the head tilt gear, located on the inside of the frame, through a hole in the left side frame. Without the left side frame showing, it would look something like this, with the release latch engaged in one of two slots on the head tilt gear. Here the head tilt gear is shown in its printhead forward latched position. The head tilt gear will be disengaged from the head tilt gear drivetrain due to the missing teeth at the 3 o'clock position. When the release latch is energized and rises, the leaf spring loaded gear rotates slightly and engages the head tilt drivetrain. The process motor drives the drivetrain and rotates the head tilt gear, tilting the printhead backwards into its sleep position. The release latch drops into the smaller notch and contacts the side of the notch. When the machine wakes from sleep, the release latch rises and the tilt gear rotates the printhead forward. The latch drops in the larger notch and engages the edge of the notch, at which point the printhead will be back in its teeth disengaged printhead forward position. The wider notch accommodates limited printhead tilting for the printhead cleaning cycle. To illustrate faults, here we have a broken head tilt gear. Starting with a tilt gear in the printhead forward teeth disengaged position, the release latch fires and the gear rotates the printhead backwards to the sleep position. At the sleep position, the latch drops into the small notch. The printer expects the latch to contact the notch edge by a detected rise in process motor drive current. But in this case, the gear rotates past the notch, the edge is not detected, and a 91-720 head tilt fault is declared. Here, the working head tilt gear is shown installed in the printer. Normally, the head tilt gear is difficult to see, so the printhead has been removed. The head tilt gear is in the latched, printhead forward, teeth disengaged position. In this position, the tilt gear drivetrain cannot engage the head tilt gear. When the release latch is energized and rises, the leaf spring-loaded head tilt gear rotates slightly and engages the head tilt drivetrain. The process motor drives the tilt drivetrain, which rotates the head tilt gear. This tilts the printhead backwards into its sleep position. The release latch drops into the smaller notch of the head tilt gear and stalls against the side of the notch, causing a rise in process motor drive current. At this point, the printhead will be in its tilted back sleep position. To move the printhead to the print position, the release latch rises and the tilt gear is rotated until the latch drops into the wide notch of the head tilt gear and stalls against the notch edge. At this point, the printhead is in the tilted forward print position and the tilt gear is latched in place, with the teeth disengaged from the head tilt drivetrain. On the right, we have a damaged head tilt gear. Let's see how it behaves in the printer. The damaged head tilt gear is installed in the printer. The gear is in the printhead forward, teeth disengaged print position. As before, the head tilt release latch is energized and the process drive rotates the head tilt gear to tilt the printhead back to its sleep position. As the gear rotates, the latch drops into the small notch of the head tilt gear. In this case, the latch fails to stall against the notch edge. There is no rise in the expected process motor current draw. The notch edge is not detected. The latch slips past the broken edge and the machine declares a 91-720 head tilt fault. Quick techniques you can use to troubleshoot the compound head tilt gear are the visual method and the feel method. The visual method involves observing the surfaces of the head tilt gear. Center the printhead to the drum, manually raise the release latch, and peer through the small hole in the left side frame as you rotate the DM camshaft to tilt the printhead backwards. Judge the surfaces of the gear and the edges of the two notches the latch stalls against. Look for breakage. The feel method involves manually feeling how the latch tracks the head tilt gear. Raise the release latch. Manually rotate the DM camshaft to rotate the head tilt gear to tilt the printhead backwards. Feel how the latch tracks the gear lobe surfaces. After about a half a gear rotation, the latch should drop into the narrow notch of the head tilt gear and then engage and stall against the notch edge. You can manually rotate the gear back and forth to gauge how the latch engages into the slot. Raise the release latch again and rotate the head tilt gear to tilt the printhead forward. After about a quarter gear rotation, the latch will drop into the wide notch and continue until it reaches the stall edge of the wide notch. At this point, the printhead should be at its forward print position and the head tilt gear latched with the teeth in their disengaged position.